Good afternoon, YouTube Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's interview. Today, I have the pleasure again of speaking with Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller. He's such a fun guy, and let me go mute that. And I was over on his channel a couple of weeks ago and asked him to come over to be on my channel for a little bit. So, welcome to my channel, Johnny, and go ahead and say hello and give us a brief bit of what you do in the reselling world.
Well, first I'll say hello, everyone. My name is Johnny. I'm also known as Kajun Roots Reseller. I've been doing my YouTube channel now since November 28th of last year. I've only been doing eBay now for a year, July the 24th, made a year that I've been doing eBay, and I just started venturing out to doing Etsy, where I do a lot of my quilting quilts that I have. I put that on Etsy. I've been doing some jewelry and some high dollar purses and wallets. And then I just started also with trying to upgrade my Macari account, which is right now I haven't done anything with it. I just pulled everything off because it seemed like it was getting dead for a while. So I figured I'd take those off. I enjoyed doing YouTubes. I enjoyed doing interviews with people on my shows. I have a show at 4 o'clock on Saturdays, and then I have the 5:30 and the 5:30 on Monday and Wednesday shows that I did. There's more networking and collaborations with other YouTube channels. And basically what I try to do is pay it forward, so to say, where we basically help others get channel recognition, talk a bit about their channels, what they do, and so other people can put names with faces when it comes to their YouTube channel name and chats.
Well, and I certainly appreciate it because, reselling in itself is kind of a lonely job to begin with. And then to have the quarantine on top of already a solitude job, it is nice to get online and just kind of chit chat with other people, see what they're doing. And things are changing so much constantly that I always learn something no matter who and what and when and where I am, because you never know what's changed or what new softwares come out, what new helpful thing to take pictures, or, all these little things just add up. So Queen Cleopatra is here. Welcome. Thank you for coming and joining us. And I wanted to really quick, if you are looking for Johnny here for Cajun Root Reseller, this is his Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and pop that down below into the comments. And then this is his YouTube. So if you are not subscribed to him and you want to check him out, go over, subscribe to him, listen to what he has to say. He's got some great information about estate sales, some great interviews, and eBay how-tos and stuff there. So it is really fun to watch and see what his content is. So go and subscribe to him, help him grow, help him get his numbers, so that we all want to help each other out. And it's always great when somebody comes forward and wants to help others out too.
I enjoy it.
Yes. So, you sell primarily on eBay, and let me ask you this: how has the last few months been? What has changed in your world?
For me, it hasn't changed. It's been steady, the same all the way across the board this whole year. I did have a slow period because I didn't know what was going on with my account. I think what happened was I was trying some little things here and there, and I didn't realize that I did some wrong steps. For 1 week, I had a whole week, and that was because I did some things that I didn't realize I did while going through my account. And so once I changed it and went back to what I wanted it to be, sales just started coming back in again like it was at all times. So I know things that I need to do to keep up with the changes. And I change things to where it's free shipping, but I make sure I cover it in my cost. So it's just a lot of little things that I do. I've been trying different things here and there. I run sales. And lately I have been running sales. I have not been running sales because I've just changed over to free shipping. And so even without my sales, I'm still doing the same amount of sales on a weekly basis.
Nice. Now, we're going to talk about a lot of things today, but first I will have a question for you. Okay. What is kind of like the most exciting or memorable item that you have flipped on eBay that you could share with us today?
Well, there's a couple. The first thing was I had bought this auction storage unit, and then it was this. It was some kind of thing you see on the infomercials at night. It was some kind of face cream, cosmetic, thing for women where you can do all kind of stuff. And it was brand new, sealed, never been opened, never been used. And I can't remember the name of it, but I put it online. I said, let me go check it out. And it was like going for like $275, $285. And so I listed it, and within a day of me listing it, it sold very fast to me because I was still starting out, and I was basically starting with only the things that I purchased in my house when we moved,
Mhm.
things that I haven't touched in a year or things I haven't touched in 6 months. And so that went on my eBay first automatically. And then the second thing that was sold for $275 for a free item. The next biggest thing was I had some test strips for blood test for your glucose test
Mhm.
strips. I had 5 of them that was given to me. So what I did was I listed them in 2 batches. One was a pack of 5 for a lot, and another one was a lot of 4. And I
Mhm.
listed the first one, it was $285 for the lot of 5.
Oof.
And only they were still good, they were not expired. So I listed those first. The minute I hit enter, and when I list something, I put it in a suffocation bag and I put it in my inventory.
Mhm.
I could not leave my desk quick enough. The minute I hit send and I was closing the suffocation bag, it sold. And so I left it on the side. I was all excited. So I went and listed, Herbie listed the other 4. And the 4 that I had, I listed that one for 185.
Mhm.
And again, the minute I hit entered, it sold. It never
Oh,
went into
wow.
the inventory closet. So for me,
Nice.
that was about fastest and quickest flip I've had.
Mm. Now, I I've done quite a bit of like HP ink cartridges and stuff,
Mhm.
and with those, you get a lot of people that are going to buy them to sell them to somebody else or whatnot,
Right.
and so it's very bought-ish that you run into those. Do you think it was kind of that, or was it people looking for their
I
product?
actually got an email right after that, and it was a
Mhm.
guy who evidently has a company that he does these type of buys
Mhm.
online because he keeps them and gets them into where he helps those unfortunate that can't afford it.
Oh,
What he does
that's
is he
very
gives
nice.
it to them, or he might sell it to them at a lower cost
Mhm.
to help them out on their end as far as
Uh-oh.
those that are less fortunate. And so he told me, he sent me an email and said, if you get any of these again or anything like this, let me know. I'll buy them from you. So I think
Oh,
that's what it mainly was.
well, that's a nice story. That's good.
I,
Um,
I, I told him, I said, anytime I'll contact you first.
yeah. Yeah, that's always a nice story. Now, I often wonder if those are true stories, but you want to think they're nice.
Right, exactly. The
I
thought
had
was there, so I hope it was.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And you are originally from the Orleans area, is that right? And
Born and raised south of New Orleans. And yes, there's a lot past and south of New Orleans,
and then you're currently in Maryland,
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Okay.
I actually moved here a year ago on June the 24th.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And what made you kind of go into reselling?
Well, back in March, actually, let me back up. Back in January, when my husband Robert decided, okay, he was going to keep the job that he was at, but the only thing was they were closing the office in New Orleans.
Oh,
So the
okay.
only thing he would be able to do is he would have to transfer up here in Massachusetts. So at the end of February, he had to be here on March 11th to start here. So we had enough time to come up here and look for a house, and so we did. Then I went back and packed the house and got everything in order to move in June because we knew I wouldn't be able to move here until June because that's when we were going to finalize on the sale of the house.
Mhm.
And so we did that, and then I basically started packing and setting everything up. And as I was going through the packing, I started setting aside boxes saying eBay for sale. So I
Mhm.
knew that was inventory for eBay because we had talked about it. And I said, well, I had already had 2 businesses in New Orleans. One was a cleaning company that I've had since 2005. And then I have a quilting company that I do quilts to order. And I was having a good business there. But what I did was I kept the quilting company and brought that with me up here.
Mhm.
And then I was doing a lot of craft shows and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so the cleaning company, I turned it over to my best friend there, and she basically ran with it. So she's running it now. And so when I asked Robert, I said, "What do you think? What am I going to do? I've always worked all my life, but I've never been without something to do other than own business." And so he said, "Well, watch some of these YouTube channels with me." I said, "Why?" And he started showing me things like Lonnie, the garage flips and garage was a part-time picker and all those other people that he was watching. And it's like, oh wait, I can do that. And so that's what got me into, okay, I know I can do it. And so that's why I started packing the house with inventory for eBay. because I already knew the house here had a large basement. It was the whole
Mhm,
length of the house. And so half of the room of the basement, I was going to have my quilting room and my eBay room all in one because there was plenty enough room for it.
mhm,
And so that's what got me to start going into the eBay. And so when I first started, I did start in the smallest store they had. I think it
mhm,
was like 150 listings at the time. And then I went in October. I just started. I'm going full force. And so
mhm.
basically, I started full time, but I started in a part time mindset to get to know how to work it around eBay.
Yeah.
And so once I got to learning it and learning what needs to be done, trial and error. And so I went in October and went to the full force premiere store.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. And what is your inventory mostly of? Do you specialize in
All
anything?
all hard goods. I got everything from kids' toys to puzzles to games, electronics, PS2s, PS3s, different types of gaming systems, PS3 games. I mainly deal and try to deal in only brand new sealed items.
Mhm,
But if something that I'm not going to pass up, if it's used or in great condition, I will buy it if I see there's a good return in investment in it. So I
mhm.
will take and buy it. But I'm very picky on what I do when it's used.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. A lot of people like new, or it's easier to sell, I find, over on
Correct.
eBay
I
for
find it
sure.
is.
And where are you sourcing mostly these days?
Well, these days I've been doing a lot of online, but I
Mhm.
have been fortunate enough to be able to go to estate sales.
Oh, okay.
They have it where there's one a month, so to say.
Mhm.
And so I've been very fortunate enough to be able to go there, and you have to wear your mask and your gloves and sanitize and stuff like that, which is fine with me because there are only like 10 to 15 people at a time in the house at one given time.
Mhm.
And so what I do is I usually watch for the advertisement pictures of what they have to sell.
Mhm.
So I already know in my mind what I'm looking for when I get there. And usually I'm in and out of the house with no more than 30 minutes
Nice.
because I get what I want to get out.
Very good. Very good. And so you're on eBay, and before we went live, we were talking about the managed payments and switching over with that. And Johnny was explaining to me that some of my items may have fallen off because I just switched to the managed payments, and there were some that needed more descriptions and whatnot, boxes filled out. And so those are just falling off if you don't correct those mistakes before switching over. So that is a great piece of information to know. And I think I switched over officially a couple of days ago. So I am currently going through my eBay inventory and downsizing a bunch of it and then just double checking, doing inventory, getting ready to go into Q4. I want to make sure everything is correct and ready to go before I beef anything up. Do you have any big plans for Q4 for
I Well, first I want to
anything?
go back to the managed payment thing. If you
Yeah.
get a notification in your overview of your account,
Mhm.
which I did, and that's how I know about it. I had 22 items that needed, and it was an email I got or a message I got through my messaging system through eBay. It said that I have to take care of these items or they will fall off when I do change over, which will be between the 17th and the 21st of this month. So I knew I want to get it done quickly because if you don't, it will fall off and you will not have those in your inventory when you do change over to managed payment. That's one thing I recommend you do is check into your overview of your account. And if there's a notification or a message you get from eBay, make sure you take care of that so it doesn't fall off in your account when it does change over, if you already started the process for it.
Yeah.
As far as Q4 is concerned, I have my goal, and right now I'm at 1,111 pieces. My goal is to have 2,000 listed by October 1st.
Wow. That's
Because last year I wasn't ready and I was basically listing every day 45, 55, 65, 75 pieces a day because I was trying to keep up with my sales.
yeah.
And it was crazy. I could not keep up. The more I sell, the more I had to list because it was just going out the door as fast as I was listing it. But for me, that was a good problem to have when I learned, being I was just starting out in my time, that I know what to expect this year. And I'm not going to have that happen this year. So I'm in the process of getting more toys listed. I have a lot of action figures, games, puzzles. I've also been sourcing online auctions because I'm getting a lot of good deals with that, to where those are things that I'm turning quickly over onto eBay. For example, believe this or not, I bought some packs of underwear never opened, never used, Hanes.
Mhm.
They're sold items right now were $69 to $75 a pack of eight.
What kind of underwear are these?
There's men's underwear, it's the briefs. or a pack of 8. I bought 3 packs a piece for $5 a piece and turned them over on eBay for $64.95.
That's crazy. Who's buying $64 underwear?
I don't
What
care because I'm listing it and they're buying it. So,
what is Okay, so I have an underwear story too because I truly don't understand men's underwear, and
uh,
maybe it's a woman thing. We have a lot of underwear options out there, and I
right,
know you guys don't have as many underwear options as we do.
correct.
Are they good underwear options? That's debatable because some of the underwear they put out for women I don't know about.
Exactly.
They're not to wear, they're to entertain. But
Right.
for men's underwear, I went to a liquidation place that we have near our house, and every once in a while I'll go there to source. They have some Levi options and Nike, etc. Anyhow, they had jockey, and it was G-string jockey underwear for men.
Mhm.
This is like the best selling underwear ever. I had no idea. I looked at the comps, over there, and it was crazy. And I'm looking at the Amazon comps, and I'm going, okay, well, if it's good on Amazon, it's got to be good on eBay usually too. Usually, if it's good on one, it's going to be good on the other. So I got
Right.
them. They flew off the shelves, and I'm going, I did not realize that G string men's underwear was so desirable.
Especially that brand. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Jockey is an amazing brand for women, and it's amazing brand for men too, I guess. Carrie, hi. Just kidding. Yeah, we fell to expensive underwear. It just happens.
It just came up in conversation.
It's weird the things that sell. I do a lot of adult diapers too. I mean, you think about a lot of these things. Maybe it's stuff that you might not that you want to get, but it's maybe embarrassing or you don't want to go out shopping for, and there's a lot of stigmas and stuff. And I know that my husband, not that he wears G-string underwear, but maybe men don't want to buy G-string underwear out at the local grocery stores, and you're going to then go to the online stores. And we were talking before we went live here. There is a significant amount of stores closing, so I wanted to go through that with everybody just because it's kind of in the topics of getting ready for Q4, sourcing ideas. This should be something you ought to be looking for any of the platforms. And currently, the top ones are, of course, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Macari, Bonanza, ThreadUp. I mean, all of these platforms are going to be huge going into Q4 simply because there's so many places closing down. You can't really go out and go shopping at the local malls and stuff. So I brought up 2 articles. This one was about the Lane Bryant and Ann Taylor owners file for bankruptcy. And this was a couple weeks ago, July 23rd. But I bring it up today because my mother called me earlier today and she's like, I went out to Lane Bryant to go get some clothes, and she got there, and not only was the store closed, it was like torn apart, everything sold out, gutted, closed. And so she called me, she's like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to get my clothes? And I just sent off a bunch of Lane Bryant stuff to ThreadUp. So I'm hoping in a couple months' time that liquidates out for me and becomes lucrative. But also Ann Taylor, if you are sourcing out there, you may want to keep an eye out for that. Justice, the teeny bopper, I call it a teeny bopper store, but
Yeah.
tween store, little girl store.
Mhm.
It's a cute little store, but really the clothes were not that amazing. But they are going to go to an online platform along with Lou Gray, who I'm not familiar within Go Forward Loft stores. So maybe continue Lou Gray within Go Forward Loft stores. So I don't know if that means they're going to keep some loft stores open and have a couple things. They're going to consolidate and get rid of what they can. Catherine's plus size stores. So if you have been sourcing or like to shop at Catherine's, that is going to go down. They're let's see here, reduce the store fleet from approximately 2,800 stores down to 1,200 stores. So a huge 56% reduction. And all of these stores with the limited supply, with those liquidation centers, we might be able to get in and swoop up some good deals. Let me see if there was anything else to this article that was interesting. Yeah, Catherine's, Ann Taylor, Loft, Lane Bryant, Justice. Keep your eyes out for that. And then, in the same conversation with my mom, she says she tells me that Steinmart's filed for Chapter 11 yesterday. So I brought that news article up just to share with everybody here. 279 stores across 30 states will be closing. And in this article, You know what, I can put both of these articles down in the chat, so if you want to read detail instead of just going through here. Oops, let's do that. They said they will be having a 30% off sale, and they've already started setting up the going out of business sales going on at Steinmart. So now I don't have Steinmart in my state, but when I go to Las Vegas, I have shopped there, I have sourced there, and I have sourced online, especially baby supplies. So cribs, bumpers, baby crib sheets, all of that stuff. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on their app because I have the app on my phone. So I will often look and see what the clearance department has to offer. And I don't
Yeah,
know if it will
yesterday
be.
was somebody that was on one of the channels that was talking about even they were all in their stores in their area were advertising that even all the fixtures in the stores are being sold, including mannequins. And they were trying to just get rid of it. So it didn't matter how far down they were trying to sell it, they were just trying to get rid of it because they can't keep it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mannequins, display tables, things like that. And I really feel that with all of these stores closing, the market is still there. People still want to go out and shop. And so,
Right.
yes, you might see an increase in the e-sales, e-commerce sales, but I still feel that there's going to be a spring up of new shops. So if you are looking to maybe start a boutique or start a used clothes store type of business, this might be a good time to go in, swoop up some inventory, swoop up some store fixtures and stuff to for your own business if that's what you're wanting to go into. I know I got a mannequin at one of these going out. It was a Sports Authority. What went out of sale? There was a sports store that went out of sale, and I got a mannequin there. Always remember you can haggle prices too. This would be a good time to go in and say, "Hey, I'll take, a couple $100 worth of stuff. Can you give me a discount, an employee discount, a 10%, something like that?"
Something, yeah.
See what's going on.
And if you have an antique booth or you're thinking about getting an antique booth, those display cases would work really well for some antique booths as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be great for antique booths.
Especially
And
if they have the locks with the key on them and they give you the key with it. That'd even be good for that too, for displays.
I really, with the amount of COVID problems we're having in the country and the amount of just people that want to go out and shop and maybe get things, I really think that these antique booth places ought to open up maybe a dual shopping center where they could have new goods on one side and maybe the antiques on one side. So
Mhm.
if you're just looking for garage sale type of items, you could go out and have booths for that. There's a place down in Oregon that does just it's garage sale, and you can rent a booth and you just put your items out there. That'd be great for my Amazon returns or items that
Yeah.
are just not worth shipping.
Right. Yep.
Be cool. Anyhow, those are my ideas. We'll see what springs up. It's we're still seeing where the dust settles. I feel like we've had a lot of chaos in the last 5 months. And next year at this time, I think our whole shopping layout is going to look completely different. We'll see who comes up with what.
And you always have to be ready for the changes that come up, regardless of when and how that happens.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. So, what have you been enjoying this summer?
Actually, I've been basically just working. I'll take my days off. I'll make sure I get all my work done for my eBay. Because for me, it's not a job; it's an adventure for me every day.
Hmm.
Because you just never know what to expect when you go to list something.
Hmm.
So I'm basically always getting things ready to list, and then ready to go, and I answer all my emails and things like that. So for me, that is my summer. That was my summer. Because basically we couldn't go nowhere. I had some plans, but I had to cancel it because some family members might have thought they might have been with the virus. And so for better being myself and not having to put myself in that situation, I canceled. So I basically just stayed home and did what I had to do around the house and stay safe.
Yeah.
But to me, that's my everyday anyway. So there
Yeah.
was never any real major plans. We wanted to, we're the type of people that we just plan by the day.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to. We're trying to plan my daughter's birthday is this weekend and it's it's rough. There's so many things we can't do and I feel so bad for her, but it is what it is. She knows it's not me doing it. It just
Right,
so
and I feel sorry for all those graduating too, because that's even worse
Mhm.
for them.
Yep. Very true. Now we've had similar. I made it down to Vegas for a week and hung out with my mom and the new baby. But yeah, we've had similar where we've canceled some plans. And my friend's brother just got diagnosed positive with COVID, and she's worried about her family back in Montana. And then we've all been following. Hopefully everybody on Instagram has been following Pinching Pesos, Deborah's journey. She was on the ventilator, and I have good news. She actually texted me last night, so I was very excited that she has woken up enough to check her phone. Now she's probably still on some good drugs. At least I hope she's on some good drugs
Yeah,
in the
really.
hospital. But we haven't made a formal update about that because it wasn't super significant. But she was getting moved. Hopefully, between last night today, she was getting moved out of the ICU if she kept her O2 rates up, and she was cognizant enough to message me some
Good to hear.
cute little things. So I was really excited about that, and I hope she's on the mend. But I've had several other family members and friends go down with it. It's an awful, awful
So
virus.
does she know the news as far as how much was raised?
No, and I didn't talk to her because I'm sure she's like just bombarded between family and the reselling community. My
Was
dog.
she even known that? Did she even know that it was happening?
I don't know because she
Okay.
just texted me. She goes, "Hi, did you miss me?" Yes, I did. So that was funny, but we just didn't want to bombard her quite yet
Yeah,
on things. But we were
that's
holding
understandable.
some of the auction money to make sure that it went into the right account. So we did
Right.
verify, can we push money through to this account? Because the last thing we'd want to do is push it through and have it not be a good account or have other people have access to it that
Correct.
want
Right.
her to have the control of it. So
Right. Right.
we got that
That's good to
pushed.
hear.
So she should be getting. I don't know. Does PayPal, when you push money to a friend, does it take time to clear, or is it like standard 3 days?
If
Three
you
to
do,
5 days.
if you change it, if you go through and transfer money,
Mm-hmm.
do the standard because it takes 1 to 3 days, but 9 times out of 10 it's going in the next day.
Mm.
If you do the push through one, that also adds it costs more
No,
because in
I
other
did
words, you put
the
the fee
friend
out.
to friend transfer.
Yeah, that then you're fine.
Okay,
1 to 3 days max.
1 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends are getting some construction done on their house, and their bank is putting holds on the checks for like 8, 9 days. And so just everything is so haywalky. It's
But that's what I say. See, when you transfer money, it usually takes 1 to 3 days average. But
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, you got it the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, just everything. I knew quite a bit of store policies and standards and everything, and I just feel with the coronavirus everything has been like, well, it normally is this, but today
Yeah.
it's this. It's kind of like we were going to the dollar store yesterday to get some balloons and some streamers for my daughter's birthday, decorate the house. It's a great place to
Right.
go. And I'm going, I don't even know what time they close these days. Everybody's had reduced hours. Are they even, even have they filed bankruptcy yet? What's
Now,
going
believe it or not, the Dollar Tree opens at 8 o'clock. Some stores and some stores open at 7.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
stores open at 8. Now open at 9. Some stores open from 7 to 8 instead of their usual 6 to 10 or six to
Mhm.
11. So you might want to just look online and it'll tell you in your area because that's how I had to find out the stores in our area are all
Oh,
different in different towns here and there. They're different times.
my a lot of times when I go to look online, it says subject to change. Everything's just subject to change
Yeah.
these days. I went to go check my post PO box, and they have reduced the amount of time that you could go in to check your PO box. So
Uh-huh.
it's closed. Same with dropping off my FBA boxes. That time has been reduced, and I haven't even stepped foot in the mall, so I don't even know what's open in the mall. I
I
hope
don't
Auntie M's pretzel place is open. That's the only place I would be sad if they went out of business.
know.
Which is bad. I shouldn't be eating too many of those pretzels, but they're so darn delicious and smell
Yeah.
so good
Yeah.
when you're there.
It's been a while for me.
Yeah. So you've been doing eBay for 1 year come this last March? Has it been a year
This
and a half?
last June 24th made a year.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, July. Because we moved here June 24th, and 1 month later, I opened up my eBay store.
Nice. Nice. So you had a 1 year anniversary.
What I did was I basically, when I first started, because when we moved, I was still unpacking everything and putting everything in place.
Hmm.
So it was in place of where I wanted it, but I didn't have the actual way of how to start it yet. So basically, June 24th, I said, okay, here we go. And so that's how I started a month later. Yeah. So I just made a
Nice.
year. Yeah.
And I was gonna ask, usually depending on whether what platform you sell on, you have kind of the higher months and then the lower months and whatnot. So the people that I know that do a lot of like used clothes, they're not really big in Q4. They're
Mhm.
like, it's not really that big of a deal for me. But during the summer months, they have usually pretty darn good sales, whereas my lowest sales are usually April, May, June, somewhere in that time frame. Have you noticed a low or a dip, or has it been kind of consistent with COVID? I mean, it's kind of a weird year to start in.
Well, for me, in the last year, I'm still looking at my sales, and it looks like I'm above average from last year at this time.
Hmm.
So to me, I feel like it's the same, but I'm not seeing a difference.
Hmm.
But according to my diagraph, the graphics of sales, I'm up in percentage wise on sales from last year at this time.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
But what I finding too, back in October of last year, in the Christmas time frame for Q4, I was selling a lot of clothes. But I had a lot of clothes that I buy at like I went to this one mall. Whole Town had a garage sale where they give
Oh,
them map. Go to this one place, you get a map, and you just basically drive to the different houses that would have it. And if anybody else was popped up in the middle of it, you just stop and went. So I
hmm.
went to this one where they had a whole bunch of old shirts from like J.C. Penney's, Montgomery Ward's, still in the original bags, still original seal with the old pins and cardboard through each of the shirts.
I
And I
love
don't know how
those.
many of those I sold before the true Christmas time frame. It was crazy. And
Those
so
are.
that's why I tend to keep into those type of clothing that are brand new sealed
Mhm.
in the bags, especially if they're vintage,
Oh
because
yeah.
those sell a lot better.
Yeah, they do. Those are so fun to find. My
Yes.
husband's a computer geek, and so anytime I find old DVDs or old computer type related, the shirts would be perfect. Oh my gosh, what a fun find!
Yes. Yeah,
Neat.
Robert's the same way. He loves his computer stuff.
So now you have a big basement in the bottom. You said of the house, big basement, and you want to get up to 2,000 items. That is
I
insane to
have
me
the
to
inventory
store.
already. I just got to get it
Yeah.
listed.
Ah, and how do you do your inventory? How do you keep track of everything?
What I do is I list it. When I list it, I have it in categories. I don't use crates. I do use some old, I reuse boxes,
Mhm.
and I have the boxes labeled, like say baseball gloves or sports. That's in one
Okay.
box. Dress clothes or clothing is in another box.
Okay.
Winter clothes, jackets and things like this in another box. I have everything labeled, and then
Mhm.
I have boxes labeled that I do have some crates that might be Funko Pops. All my Funko Pops are in a crate.
Mhm.
And then I have some action figures, like Batman, Robin, Superman, the different types of adventures and things like that, Marvels. Those are all in crates. So I
Mhm.
have them marked what type of action figures they are, and then
Mhm.
I have them listed on the box. And if I have like the die-cast cars that are
Mhm.
still brand new in the boxes, those are in a different crate as well. So I have everything organized to where I even have on the top shelves of my storage area, all the games are on one side of the closet,
Mhm.
all the puzzles are on another side, the top of the closet. And then I
Mhm.
have another cubby hole that has shelves that's all Christmas.
Mhm.
So I have everything organized, and then like I have a bookcase that has the DVDs, the PS2 games, PlayStation games, and then I have DVD movies, and I have books, vinyl albums, all the different categories of things I have in a section of itself.
Nice.
So I know exactly where it's at. Just like my wrestling figures are in this closet right here on the side of me,
Mhm.
and that has shelves as well that it's all organized, and I have it in alphabetical order, so it's
Mhm.
easy for me to find when I'm looking for a particular wrestling figure. WWE.
Yep. I organize my stuff the same way by like with like, and that's because if anything gets messed up organized wise, I know exactly where it's supposed to be and how to find it. And if I go out of town, like I did go out of town for, the week in Vegas to go see my mother, and my husband knows enough of the system to be able to ship something for me if I
Why?
have a sale. I don't know how these people do it with all the different, an Excel sheet here and a, you know, different labels, and it
Well, I
just
do Excel sheets, but what I do the Excel sheets for is my sales. That way I
yeah.
keep a track of when I bought it, how much I paid for it, and how much it
Mhm.
sold for, and then I have the percentages of what I'm returning investment.
Oh,
That's the
neat.
main thing I use for it. And then at the end of the year, I'll take those totals because it gives me a running total. And at the end of the year, I use that for my taxes, my
Mhm.
beginning inventory with what my sales were, what I sold, and how much it cost me. And I just turn all that into the tax lady.
Oh, that's a good idea. I use different system, but um, do you sell? You said you have a Macari store, but you just took everything down. So are you going to put everything back
I'm
up on
gonna
Macari?
put other stuff on it, something different. I'm not gonna keep the same things I had on it. I'm
Okay.
basically going to start doing new listings
Okay.
because what I did was I did sell like a few things at the beginning, but then everything it plateaued at the bottom of going prices. But
Mm.
I didn't like the way Macari was dropping my prices, and I didn't know why. And now I know what's going on.
Oh, what's
It
going
was
on?
me the way I listed it. I had checked off letting them promote it, and so
Oh,
when they do that, they automatically keep going down the price. And once it gets to that going price, that's it. And
ooh.
so that was going down way too low. So now I know not to put those offers on there and not
Mhm.
to put it on promoted.
Ah, that's good to know too. I have
Yeah,
a
I learned
couple
that the
items
hard way.
over at Macari.
If you have a idea or needing to know something, um, Dapper Tiger Sam, he does a whole kind of videos on Macari because that's all he does.
Ah,
So you may want to check his channel out because he does go over that as far as how to and what to do when you're doing Macari.
let me write that down. What's the name?
Dapper Tiger, Dapper Tiger. His name is Sam. He does what? Him and I don't know if you watch Rev, Resell, and Nikki T.
I don't.
Rev, REV,
Uh-huh.
Resell, RESALE. That's Mr. David. He's a preacher. He's
Okay.
also reselling on eBay, and his wife Nikki T is all on the both same channel.
Okay.
She does Macari, and she is killing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard some good and bad, and we'll see how it goes. I'm still like I'm not a big eBay
but
person
Dan Type
fan.
how to do it, what not to do.
Okay. Yeah, I eBay I feel like their platform is a bit antiquated and they could really use a refresh with it. But yeah, they don't seem to think so, I guess. I've
Yeah, if you check them out, they have many different videos that they do about Macari.
cool. And you said later tonight at 8 o'clock you're going on a different channel. What was that channel about?
Nana, it's NANA,
Mm-hmm.
Tink, TINK, Treasures. It's
Okay.
Nana Tink and Adventures in Reselling Victoria. They both do that show every Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a cute little thing where they play games and ask questions, and then they take the questions and they turn it into a game at the end of the show, the half of the show.
Hmm.
And basically, the ones in the guests in the chat get to win prizes if they answer the correctly.
That sounds like fun.
So you got to kind of yeah,
We'll see if I don't
it's
know
like
at 8.
things where you got to remember what the question was and what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun.
Neat. Neat. Yeah, I don't have any fun
Yeah,
games over here. We just talk about what's going on. Oh. So have if you let's see here. I always like to ask like how you and your husband are. Does he like what you're doing? Is there any problems there, or does he totally on board? Does he help you source? Does he have anything to do with the business, or does he kind of like hands off?
it's more in the fact of that he does help me in a
Mhm.
sense of like when we're sourcing, he'll find something and kind of bring it to my attention.
Mhm.
Due to the fact that I may have missed something while we are sourcing. And when we go to garage sales, the same thing. He will basically bring it to my attention. What do you think about this? And if it's something that he wants, he'll ask me to see if I can look it up on my app because he knows I use my app everywhere we go. And so what's good about it is he may it's like two eyes at the same place because sometimes I may miss something and he finds something and says, "What do you think about this?" Or look this up for me. And so I'll look up the app and we're kind of helping each other because it may be something he wants
Mhm.
or something he knows that I might be able to sell on eBay. And so he's very supportive. He's the one that talked me into doing this, so to say, at the beginning. Back in March time frame,
Mhm.
He basically gave me some channels to watch when he had to come to work up here.
Mhm.
And so I would watch some channels, and then I started watching other channels. And so then I started venturing out and watching more. And so basically, he's the one that got me into the watching of YouTube channels to see what's going on. And then I started making notes on my phone. I have this little note app that every time I would find something that somebody would say, well, be on the lookout for this, or you might want to look at this brand, or this type of coffee mug, or these shoes. I made a list of it on my phone. And so that way, when I started going out and sourcing, I knew what to look for. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I think that's on my list. I think that's on my list. And so I would look at, sure enough, it was. And then I would look at the comps up, and I knew for sure there was worth something, then I would turn on and buy it.
And what app are you looking up on? Is it just eBay?
The
The
eBay, what's sold, yeah.
Yep, yep,
And what I do is I always look at what's sold because I don't put anything on auction.
yep.
So if I'm looking at something that I'm sourcing, if I'm looking at the comps, I only look at what's sold,
Mhm.
but then I also look and see how many are listed. Now, if I'm looking at sold, then there might have been like 8 or 9, 10 sold.
Mhm.
Then I only see 4 listed. I'm going to get it because it's
Yep.
a better rate for me than like the other day we found something and it was like 18 listings, but only 2 sold. Well, I'm not going to, the platform saturated, so I'm not going to deal with it.
Yep.
So that's what I use it for, basically to weigh the goods and pros and cons of is it worth it? Is there too many listed? Is it saturated? If it's not, then I'm gonna take a chance.
Yep. So for eBay, one of the I don't know setbacks that people don't like is the customer service. How have
Mhm.
you found in the last year, customer service wise, bad customers, good customers? Any stories stand out?
The one that does stand out for me was this one guy, which he never really. I kept telling him to file a return because it was some items that I had bought on clearance for 34 cents, and it was these prank bugs. It had this large a roach and a beetle,
Hmm.
and they ran on these little battery-sized watch batteries.
Hmm.
And I sent them out, and on the box it even states the maximum per battery life can be as maximum of 20 minutes, the max that it would last. And the minimum would be 2 minutes. So you got a good chance of either way, but they're pranks. It's not something you would play with or toy. So the guy ordered this item. I sent it out to him. He sends me a message saying, I cannot open the item because the person I bought it for is for their gift. It's a birthday gift. And so I'm going to wait till they open it and I'll send you a feedback. So no problem.
Okay.
Well, girlfriend, that whole week after that was a nightmare. I've had so many complaints that the batteries are dying. The cat is depressed. The cat's not able to play with the toy. I said, wait, cat? The toy is just for a cat? And you told me it was a person? Come on now. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and send you 4 sets of batteries. So you'll have 4 per bug, 4 batteries.
Okay.
So I did that, mailed it to him, sent him the tracking number. It's on its way. Then he sends me another message. He bought over 100 batteries for these 2 bugs, and they only lasted 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
And so I kept telling the gentleman, I said, why don't you go ahead, ask for a return, and I'll be glad to give you a refund. Oh no, he says, it'll hurt your business. I don't want to do that. Well, there's nothing else I can do for you, sir. It says it on the package. Anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes is what it's going to last. But then I've had other customers that send me messages like not that long ago. This lady sends me a message that all her packages are coming in damaged at her house. So I hope you packaged it really well. And so it was a 45 album. The
Okay.
vinyl was well wrapped. It was, and I use these special wrap boxes that you use that it's double fold and then
Hmm.
double fold again. So you got 4
Okay.
folds to give it a good sturdy box.
Hmm.
And she sent me back a message. Thank you so much for wrapping it the way you did. It came out perfect. It didn't get damaged. It didn't happen. We're just trying to catch the person that did this. And evidently it's their postal clerk that's damaging the boxes before it gets to her house.
Oh, what a
But
jerk.
she did send me a message and she did give me good feedback about how well it was packed. And so I have really good customer feedback.
Hmm.
But if I have, and what I do is I do send out a letter with all my orders, letting them know if there's anything I have to do to correct the problem, if there's a problem that arises on the way that it's being delivered to you, please reach out to me and I'll be glad and honored to take care of it for you before it has to go any further to eBay,
Hmm.
to my feedback. And so 9 times out of 10, I do get that. Like, for example, I sold one of these, it was a fire detector, but they thought you can plug it into the wall, like a smoke detector.
Hmm.
But it's one that you have to hotwire to your system, and it does have a backup battery.
Hmm.
But the thing about it was he ordered it and he sends me back and says, I thought it was a plug-in. I need to do a return. I said, no problem. And he returns it to me. I noticed it right back again, so it didn't matter to me. So I look at it this way: I take care of my customer service the way I want to be taken care of when I have a problem.
Yep. Same
That's why I
here.
go that extra mile. Yeah.
Yeah, same
So to
here.
let you know, Robert Krennic that's in the chat, that's my husband.
Say that again?
Robert Krennic in the chat, that is my
Yes.
husband.
Oh, that's your husband.
Yeah.
Hello, Robert. Welcome to the chat.
He just got home recently from work.
Aw, nice, nice. Oh, well, fun, fun. Yeah, I recently had somebody who I feel that sometimes my eBay customers get a little cranky with me just because they feel they have to in order to get me to give them a return or whatnot. I'm
Uh,
going, I have free returns. It's not a big deal.
right.
So I had one lady who was all cranky about some salt and pepper shakers that she thought were taller than what she ordered. And so she was being a little snippy, but it's like, sure, go ahead and return them. Still waiting on them. But yeah, the post system is kind of messed up right now. I guess everything's taking quite a bit of time. We had that auction for Deb the other day, and I sent out my stuff, and it's instead of taking a few days, it's going to take 5 or 6 days now to get just to California, from Washington to California. And I'm going, usually that's like really quick. But are you noticing the same problem?
Well, I learned that, and I'm glad you brought that up. I was at the post office today. I was talking to the lady in the post office because back in March, I sent something out to somebody in New York. I'm only here in Massachusetts, so it's not that far.
Mhm.
And it was sent media mail. Well, to this day, that package has disappeared.
I
And I
had one
sent
of
it
those
media
too.
mail.
Hmm.
So what I've learned is if you price first class in media mail, it's the same price.
Ah,
And what
okay.
I've learned is right now they're so backed up with so many orders going out that what they're doing is they're taking care of priority first, then those overnights and things like that first. Then
Hmm.
they're going into first class.
Hmm.
And then once they get all that shipped out and out of their warehouses, because right now they're so bombarded with so many packages, media mail is on the back burner.
Yeah.
Because it's on the back burner, it's sitting in some warehouse somewhere.
Oh,
So if you do media mail, it's going to take a long time.
that's not good
But
for back to school
no,
and all the books.
no, exactly. So what I found was when I go to use pirate ship for mailing,
Hmm.
first class and media mail are the same price. So why send it media mail knowing that you get on the back burner when you get medium take it out for first class? It's the
Exactly.
same price.
Yeah.
So I don't send out anything media mail no more.
I had a dog toy that I sold, and it was merchant fulfilled for Amazon back in April. And
Mhm.
the person emailed me finally, like 2 or 3 weeks after I shipped it, and was like, "Where's my item?" And of course, I'm going, "Well, shoot! I mean, you should have gotten it by now."
Right.
It got stuck somewhere in the fulfillment center, so it was a $10 item. So I just refunded her at that point. I don't know if she ever got a second one or whatnot, but I was like, it shows the
The track.
shipping and the tracking, and it just stopped at this fulfillment center, and it was somewhere in the south. I don't remember which state, and just had sat there for 2 weeks. I'm going, I don't know what they did. They lost it, they mishandled it, something going on.
I just got an email yesterday. A package should have been delivered July 21st. If estimated delivery date. He just emailed me yesterday to thank me that he finally got it. It wasn't my fault, and he even put it in my feedback. Even though he got it and it took a long time to get it, it was not my fault. He even says it in the feedback. He finally got it yesterday. He sent me an email saying, "Thank you. I finally got my package." And it should have
Yeah,
been July 21st. He should have got it.
my daughter, she got her ears pierced this year. That was her big one of her big things, and it was a big decision for an 11-year-old.
Right.
So I said I would support buying her one pair of earrings of her choice, but I said I'd like you really to go on Etsy because I want to support create crafty people and stuff.
Correct. Right.
So she finds a pair of earrings that she loves, but they're out of Malaysia. So I went through her. I'm like, it's gonna be a while. This is not an overnight ship. And they got hung up in the New York customs for 3 or 4 weeks, and it was so bad. Like every day she'd come down here, she'd like, let's see where it is, and I'm like, it's still in customs, still in customs. But yeah,
Wow.
we ordered some flip flops because there was a point where none of the stores were open and we needed some clothes. And so we ordered some clothes and it took 6 to 8 weeks to get a pair of flip flops. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is one of those items that I would normally just, when I'm out shopping, get a pair. And it would be not very expensive and readily available. And now I can't even get something delivered.
And what I'm noticing right now too, even at Walmart, the bad thing about it is you can tell where everything's coming from China because there's very little left on the shelves.
Oh yeah.
And that's unbelievable.
I called my mom before I went down there for the week and I said the only thing I really need to do is get her some clothes because she went from one size, she shot up like a foot this year. It was crazy, the growth. So I'm like, nothing fits her. It looks like she's, competing for the home. Well, I always say my kids are competing on who could look more homeless in my household. I'm like, guys are terrible. So anyhow, I'm like, we got to go out and go shopping because I went to Target and I was trying to do the FaceTime at Target. There was nothing on the shelves. Nothing. I went to Walmart. Nothing on my shelves. So I said, I hope your shelves have something. I got to find some store because you go online and it's 6 to 8 weeks. I said, I can't have 2 months delayed on summer clothes. I need summer clothes now, not in the fall, not in the winter. It'll be too late then. But yeah, Vegas had some stuff and all their summer stuff was on clearance and they were getting out coats. It's 114 degrees out and they're selling coats.
Okay.
We're just going to skip summer. We're going to roll into fall. At the dollar store last night, they were rolling out Thanksgiving and Halloween stuff. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I basically
that everywhere.
Get a summer. We'll just roll into next year. Let's forget 2020. Yeah. It was not a good year.
Christmas is here already.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to start celebrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one funny that went around that said, I don't need to stay up on New Year's to celebrate the new year. I just want to make sure this one ends.
Yes. I'm going to be up just to make sure it ends.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Let's just make sure this one's over. Yeah. This terrible
exactly.
Year. So Robert had mentioned that media mail does get cheaper if you are shipping heavier things. That is totally true. But
that's true, yeah.
Especially the big books and heavy items.
But then again, you're still going to be out. It's going to be about the same price though if you were to use it like a medium flat rate.
Yeah. You definitely got to know all the different choices, and that's another thing we should bring up. I went to the post office the other day, and usually they have some supplies there that you could just go in and grab a flat rate box or something. Mm-hmm. All of them were gone.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened with me. I ordered these tube boxes that you can send posters in. Mm-hmm. And when you fold them up, it's a triangle.
Yep.
I ordered 50 of those back in March.
Holy moly.
I just got them last week.
So order Q4 supplies yesterday.
Yes, exactly. Because I even had, I try not to run out. So if I know I'm getting like half of a box or a crate of one of the items that I'm using a lot of, I'll go online and order again because that's how long it's taking for stuff and supplies to come in.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready at all times.
Cleopatra is saying that her place did not have any supplies either. So,
and what Queen's having a problem with on hers is for some reason their post office, like how I know at our post office there's a gate that closes for the main part of the office.
Yep.
She said no matter what time of the day she goes, that thing is shut down like Fort Knox.
Jeez.
Then she knocks on the door because she's looking for a particular package type item to get things, and they're rude with her, telling her, "What, you didn't see it out there? That means we're out." Like, okay. Jeez. First of all, they don't even have the open main part open. Why is that? I don't know. And that's a big part of the only post office they have in her area.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Be not good. I know, I do a show with Marcy, the Reseller News, and she was saying that she lives 30, 40 minutes from the post office. So she gets the pickup daily. Mm-hmm. And it's hit or miss on whether she'll get a pickup. It depends on the guy, depends on the service, the day of the week,
But what I've learned too about the postal clerks here, they get one day off a week.
Yep.
And usually it's Tuesday or Wednesday. And then on the weekends, they already have somebody else that takes their place because they get the whole weekend off.
Oh.
So sometimes you may not have that same postal clerk.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's bad about it too. They might not know There's a pickup.
My post guy has been working six days a week, like barely any time off, and I feel so bad. He had open heart surgery right before COVID hit, and then he had, they gave him 6 weeks off or something, and so then he had to
Mhm.
start back up. And I was shipping out a ton of stuff at that time, and my husband kept messing with me, saying I was going to take out our post guy. Hoping, his poor heart, and it was
You can put a
hot.
whole nother thing about what they call going postal.
Exactly, exactly.
What I like
Um,
about mine though, I'm only 2 minutes away, so I make it a point that if
yep.
I don't get it by 11:30, because they close from 11:30 to 12:30,
Mhm.
then if I get any other sales after lunch, then I can make sure by 2 o'clock I'm done at the post office and bring it. I'm only 2 minutes away, so
Yeah,
and plus I like that little receipt I get.
I'm about that much away too. But I did do a foo bar. So like I said, I boxed up a whole bunch of my eBay stuff. I did 4 boxes to go Gambit to auction off things and clear out my garage, and 3 to
Mhm.
thread up. Been trying that out, and you know, trying to get some things again out of the garage, moving, get that dead stuff moving around. And so I had about 7 priority boxes that were huge. And I
Uh-huh.
went and dropped them off with my UPS boxes. And my guy calls me. He's like, "Yeah, the postman that comes and picks up here, he got too many boxes for his little truck, so I had to go grab them and bring them to the post store myself."
Yeah.
But that's okay. So,
Yeah.
does anybody have any questions? Please leave them down in the comments. We are just going to um, usually I do about an hour. I don't know what your schedule is like here. I do have we did start at 2:30 my time, 5:30 your time. Um, so I do usually try to go about an hour, but I'm pretty open. I do have a 4 o'clock. We're getting a roofing quote for my house, and some of these guys are really good, and some have been so car salesman-y that I just might disappear if this one is like that again. It's been tough.
Yeah, because I also have to be on a show at 8 o'clock, and this is about an
Uh,
hour and a half. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Perfect. Then if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and we'll try to get to those. But what are your plans for this weekend and next week going forward here? Yeah.
Basically, it's just working and listing, and then usually when Robert's off, because he's off like every other Friday.
Hmm.
So I work all every day except for the weekend when he's off. And usually he sleeps in late. So while he's sleeping in late, I'm still working because when I hear him awake and I hear his footsteps,
Hmm.
that's my cue to quit. So I try to get all my work done early. Especially
Hmm.
if I have any orders and packages, I'll get those packed up, and I'm usually done by 10 o'clock. Unless I hear him 9:30ish upstairs, and I usually knock it off at 10. So I usually don't work past that on weekends. And Saturday, I have my live show every Saturday at 4 o'clock, and with LL Stash, Larry is my co-host. And
Hmm.
so basically, I don't plan anything. We just basically go for whatever's happening. And because we have very few garage sales in the area or estate sales, usually we plan that by the day. Depending on, like this past week, I went to one estate sale on Friday morning. I was there for like 8 o'clock when they opened. And then the rest of the weekend, we just basically took it easy. We took a little trip just to get out of the house and went to New Hampshire and just came back. We just drove out and came back home. So we just
Nice.
basically sit around the house. There's really not much we can do right now because there's still a lot of closed items and places and things like that. So for me, because he has diabetes, I try not to do any grocery stores or things like that on the weekend. So I
Hmm.
usually do my runs during the week for grocery stores or Walmart or whatever and get my groceries for the week.
Hmm.
And other than that, we really don't plan anything. We just work it day for day. We go to with the flow.
Yep. That's about where I'm at. And going
Yeah.
into the fall, it looks like both my kids and my husband will be working from home with me. So
A whole family.
all family together all the time.
Well, last 2 weeks, because he went out of town, Robert had to go out of town for work. And when he came back, they automatically had a 2 week quarantine here at the
Mhm.
house. But he's been working from the house for the last 2 weeks, and he just went back to work this week.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
it's a big difference when you got to. I'm trying to be quiet because I know he's got conference calls and stuff like that throughout the day. So I try to stay downstairs in the eBay room.
Yeah, I've been going out on the weekends to do some retail arbitrage stuff, and so that's kind of my get out of the house, and we had to have a little talk because I went when I first started like 2 weeks ago. The whole family was messaging me like every 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, trying to get away from y'all for a minute, get my sanity back. And
Yeah.
anyhow, so, but I love them. I love them
Yeah.
all. I'd rather have them here than it doesn't sound like the school openings are going very well in the places that have opened up. So I'm glad that our schools are going to be at home for this next.
Well, in our area, they're doing half, like 2 days of the week in class, 3 days of the week at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every place I think is going to be different when it comes to setting their schedule of how they're going to do things,
Hmm.
determining the pack of the area of how the hot spots are, and depending on
Yeah,
where the hot.
exactly. Well, and I'm in, I mean, it's not, Seattle is not a, we were one of the first places that had COVID, so it's hard to know what's out there and stuff. Even when I go out sourcing, I feel like I'm bathing in sanitizer 24/7 just to make
The
sure
only thing
I'm
with
safe.
me is the only thing I don't like about all that sanitizer, it makes my hands dry. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to lotion my hands up, and between doing that, I've got the hand sanitizers and I got the hand wipes, and I'm wearing the gloves. But I've always been like that before, but I think I'm more now hard on myself, making sure I'm constantly using all those products
Hmm.
because of the fact of what's going on. So yeah, and I'm always constantly wiping down my counters and doorknobs and things like that.
Very true. Very true. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. Did you want to tell us again, really quick, before we leave, where you're going to be tonight at 8 o'clock and any other shows you want to plug right now?
Today at 8, I'm gonna be on Nana Tink, and that's Eastern. Nana Tink's Treasures. She does a live show every Thursday night, and it's with Adventures in Reselling Victoria. I will be their guest where they do half the show where they do questions, more like an interview kind of thing, and then the other half is games where they'll ask you questions throughout of what the questions you should have heard or listened the answers to, and or there may be just some other questions that pop up on a wheel that they do, and it's, if I would, I wouldn't do a certain thing. And so, and then anyone who's in the chat, they get their name on the wheel. And then, of course, you get your name. If you answer first correct answer with that, you get a prize. And so that's pretty interesting. And then Saturday, I have at 4 o'clock, I do a live show with Larry LL Stash. He's my co host. And we do a live networking and collaboration with others. And that's basically a channel where you come in and you get to meet other people. You get to see names with faces and that kind of thing. And I usually have two guests every week on every show. And then on this past Tuesday, I do bingo every third Tuesday on my channel. And if you go to any of the descriptions in my videos, in the descriptions, you'll see the link of all three of us on that Tuesday bingo that I did. And we rotate between Larry and Victoria on Tuesdays.
Nice.
You're gonna see it's a pink. I try to keep all my thumbnails the same color or the same theme when I'm doing a particular video. And
Mhm.
so with the bingo, you'll see it's a hot future pink. It says free to play, win free. That's my right there. That's all my bingo thumbnails.
Mhm.
The ones right after that, the blue ones with the purple background, and those are my Saturday shows. All the videos that I do live with Saturday, and then the green are the ones I do during the week on Monday and Wednesday.
Nice.
So I try to keep those thumbnails accordingly to that, so they know that's what it is. And
Very, very coordinated.
the only other thumbnail I need to make another playlist for is my other shows that I've been guest on, and that's my next goal.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well, there you go. Everybody, go and check him out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and check out some of his content and help him out. We are all, resellers here at the end of the day and can learn from each other. And definitely, I enjoyed having you over here. Thank you for being a guest on my channel.
thank you
And
for asking me to be here. I really enjoy it. And also, one more thing on all my video in the YouTube channel, you'll see where it says featured channel. That's my cooking show. I do a
oh,
Cajun Roots cooking show as well. It
nice.
should be right at the top,
Let's see.
or it should be a little link up that says go to the homepage.
Okay. Ah, right
Yeah.
here.
Yep, that's my cooking show. I do
Oh,
Cajun Roots cooking show, and I do Cajun cooking.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice, nice,
I need
nice.
to
Now,
put another video up there.
oh, you do have catfish. Okay. Because
Yes.
I love fishing.
Catfish,
So
redfish, red beans, white beans, gumbo, stews.
nice. I will have to check that out and definitely
Yeah.
try some of that because I love Cajun food. We used to in Las Vegas. There's the station casinos,
Mhm.
and there's several that have the um,
Buffets.
no, they're like they're called the oyster bars, but they
Oh yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
a Cajun type of
yeah.
theme, and I love
Mhm.
their food. We'd go out there, and we can't right now, so
Yeah.
I
And then
missed
what I
the
do in all
food.
my videos, I go through step by step, and I usually I'm one that eyes all the seasonings.
Hmm.
So I got to remember when I do the videos, I set aside and measure everything so I can tell everybody what I'm doing. And then
Uh-huh.
what I always say in all my videos, make sure you don't put too much at the beginning because you can always add it. Because if you
Hmm.
put too much, you can never take it out.
Yep, that is true. Well, and we love cooking here, and I make my kids cook too, so
Yeah.
that will be good. We will have to try
Yeah. Well,
something
thank
new
you.
out.
That's right.
Yes. All
Well,
right.
thank
Well,
you so much for
I'm gonna
having me. It
go
was a
ahead and
blast.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast here.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for joining us, and take care. Have an awesome week.